Hi everyone, it's Carrie, aka Nerdy Girl Crates, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is Manga Monday Reviews, and we are going to take a look at Boruto, Naruto's Next Generations manga. Now, as I've said before in the past, I am not a manga aficionado. I have read a few prior to me starting this YouTube channel, mainly because of anime, and one of those animes happened to be Naruto. I had watched both the Naruto anime and Naruto Shippuden, as well as the animated movies that came out with it. And I am a huge fan of Naruto. It is one of my favorite animes of all time. I did read some of the manga. I wouldn't say all of it. I think I was more hooked on the anime. So when I heard about Boruto, I was interested in checking out the anime. I have put that on hold because I did watch a few, I would say about half of the first season, because I wanted to read the manga and later on do a comparison. So I have checked out I would say like the first volume of Boruto, and this is different in a way from Naruto because it's not focused on Naruto anymore. It's focused on his son Boruto. I'm not joking. That's the name, Boruto. One of which I thought was kind of weird that he has a name very similar to his father, but some people have explained it to me. It has to do more with his cousin Neji, who passed away in the original series. So yes, this picks up years after the Fourth War, where Shippuden had ended. Naruto is now the seventh Hokage, like he always hoped to be, and he is married to Hinata. I hope I said that right. And they have a son and a daughter, which is Boruto. And Boruto is now at the age where Naruto was in the original series at the beginning, and he is joining the Ninja Academy. Well, he has completely different goals from his father. He does not want to be Hokage. He actually hates the fact that his father is Hokage because he never gets to see him anymore. His father's so busy with trying to protect the village and maintain relationships with other villages that he's rarely home. And this makes Boruto very angry, so he starts to act out and do things like Naruto used to do as a kid. You know, defacing the mountain of Hokage faces and playing practical jokes, and this irritates Naruto to no end, which is funny coming from the perspective of knowing how Naruto was when he was a kid. Besides Boruto, we have other characters. One of them is Sarada Uchiha, who is the daughter of Sasuke Uchiha and Sakura. Now, this is one of the things where I have a lot of questions because they at least explained in the last Naruto movie how Hinata and Naruto ended up in a relationship and married. But they kind of never really built up the romance between Sakura and Sasuke, because Sakura, it was pretty much, in my opinion, a one-sided love. And look, Sasuke is my favorite Naruto character, but he was more hell-bent on getting revenge for his clan, that there was never any clues that I could see that he actually felt something more to Sakura than as a teammate and even at one point a friend. And for the fact that she has forgiven him so easily, because there was one point in Shippuden he actually tried to kill her, and if Kakashi did not and Naruto did not show up, she probably would have been dead. So it's a little odd to see suddenly they're married and you don't get kind of like a development of how that happened. You don't get like this, okay, so this is, how things progress, especially knowing since Shippuden, Sasuke's been out and about on a journey to make amends for his past. So he's rarely home. So when did this romance happen? When did this progression from friends to lovers to husband and wife and then having a kid occur? So far it has not been explained in either the anime or the manga. If you know, please let me know down below. I would love to check that out because it's one of the things that kind of puzzles me. It's kind of like I'm just supposed to accept that this happened and not get of a backstory. Now Sarada is their only child. She's a girl, and like Sasuke very smart, uh, very good at picking up a ninjutsu. Always critical of Boruto. They kind of have like that same relationship Sasuke and Naruto had. Uh, but she also can be very badly tempered like her mother. She's also frustrated like with her father, just the same way like Boruto is with Naruto. The difference is she literally hasn't met him. He is off on his journeys, and she's always asking her mom about him, and she says, "Oh, you know, he loves you and he'll be home. Don't worry. He's going to be here." And she gets frustrated to the point there's a chapter where she and a friend go looking for her father. And when they run into each other finally, Sasuke doesn't even recognize her. So this tells you how long he's been away. He doesn't even know this is his daughter until like Naruto points it out, which is kind of like sad. So you're telling me he left Sakura alone this whole time just to raise Sarada, and he has not been around at all? Alright, well, besides Sarada, there's another member of their team named Mitsuki, who is pretty much the artificial son of Orochimaru, if you remember Orochimaru from the original show. Now, Mitsuki is kind of like very naive. He doesn't know much about interactions or anything. He's pretty much been raised inside Orochimaru's hideout. But he's got a very sweet personality despite all this, and he just admires Boruto and Sarada. And they become a team. They become the new Team 7 that Sarada and Naruto's fathers were originally on, and Sarada's mother. And he's got powers similar to Orochimaru with snakes. But again, like he's just happy to have friends and be a part of them. So you kind of like Mitsuki a lot, because he's just kind of like, he seems very like laid back and happy. He's completely different than what you've seen Orochimaru, who's got that seedy plot, always on the verge of doing something evil. Besides that, there's also some other kids who are descendants of characters you remember from the original series, and some new kids that you have not met before, and you don't know much about their parents. It's kind of also nice to see, like, the other difference between Boruto, besides the fact he doesn't want to become Hokage, is he is also much more adapted at school than his dad is. He's actually pretty good at doing schoolwork, where his dad was always struggling and Sasuke was always mocking him for being stupid. He does get still in trouble with the teachers, but his goal is, I don't think he even really has a goal at this point. He just doesn't want to become Hokage. Meanwhile, Sarada wants to become Hokage. And Sasuke is actually supportive of it once he starts having a bond with his daughter. Now, at this point, I also don't know how much Sarada knows about Sasuke's past. I don't think that's been brought up. Boruto obviously didn't know too much about his father, but as the show and the manga unfold, he starts to learn exactly how powerful his father is, and then he soon discovers like exactly what his father went through as a kid, and he starts to relate more to his dad and understand his dad's position and why his dad's so determined. Meanwhile, poor Naruto is trying to balance his professional life and his family life, and Hinata, she's very supportive of him, but you also kind of feel bad that because most of the time when he's there, it's not really him, it's a shadow clone. And he wants to be there for his son and daughter. He doesn't want to miss birthdays, but, you know, things happen. Things start, you know, occurring, and he's always busy. He's like always buried in paperwork. And I don't even think Naruto himself realized that was going to be the majority of his job. But you also see how Naruto has grown since you remember him as the kid in the original series. You know, he's responsible, and he wants to be a good role model for his son. And he calls out his son's behavior because he used to be like that. Boruto also doesn't realize how lucky he is that he has both parents and that his father didn't. His grandparents died when Naruto was just born. Also, they set up nicely the future of the show with a possible villain. The only thing I'm kind of complain about a bit is that it almost feels like they're trying to stay on the same beat for beat like the original Naruto. They're establishing this new friend who's they already, as shown in the first episode in the beginning of the manga, is the potential villain of the future. But I don't know if this is going to be like another Naruto Sasuke type relationship. There's also another group of villains who kind of like are far more powerful than Orochimaru, but they almost got the same kind of goal as Orochimaru. They want to possess the bodies of Boruto and this other kid that gets introduced. And I just kind of wish there would be a little bit more diversity from the original series. I get it. It's still the Hidden Leaf Village. They're still ninjas. They still got to battle other evil bad guy ninjas. It just like I feel like they're almost going beat for beat. I can almost see who's going to get who together with who probably in the future and exactly who's going to be whose enemy. I kind of hope that it does change course and it doesn't just keep going the same exact path as Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. I am enjoying this manga. I do like all the characters, especially a lot of the newer characters that are introduced that don't have connections to past characters. I also like to see how the other characters have developed from the past that are now adults and most of them parents. I also like, what's his name? The little kid from the original Naruto that idolized Naruto, the third Hokage's grandson. He's back, and this time he is the mentor for Team 7. He's the leader of Team 7, which is nice to see that come full circle. And he also dreams of becoming the Hokage, just like he announced when he was a kid to Naruto, and Naruto cheered him on. And he still has like this brother relationship with Naruto. He still views him like a big brother, which is nice. And he's like in a happier place, and his former teammates are now also mentors to their own teams, which is great. Again, one of my other complaints is though this Sasuke-Sakura relationship. I'm not seeing. I want to know how this happened. It's kind of like, okay, I don't like the idea of just, being expected to just accept this. It's kind of like I want a development. I want to see how this happened. Because, I know since the very first Naruto, she's had a crush on Sasuke. But there hasn't really been much from Sasuke's side showing that he has any type of romantic feelings except for friendship. Even the way Shippuden ended, when he promised to come back, you can interpret that more as friendly than romantic. Because there has been nothing to support Sasuke having romantic feelings. And even for the longest time in Shippuden, it looked like Naruto and Sakura were going to end up together. It's kind of one of those things I just... You're like, okay, I'm not unhappy it happened. I just want an explanation on how it happened. And... like, why is Sakura just okay with Sasuke being gone for years upon years at a time? I know there was one point where she told Sarada that he sometimes comes home at night and sleeps, but that's not really much of, like, having a relationship. He didn't recognize his own daughter when he meets her. It's... Again, I need more explanation for this relationship between Sasuke and Sakura. I think like Naruto's relationship with Hinata and his family had a better explanation, even though at some points I feel that came out of the blue with the last movie, because that was also for the longest time Hinata had a crush on him, but you can also see it that like Naruto never picked up on it because he's Naruto. But overall it's not bad. I just kind of hope that they don't stay beat for beat like the original series. I kind of hope that Boruto is able to stand out separately from what his father's story was. Hopefully get more explanation about Sasuke and Sakura. I want to see where these villains are going because I just hope they're just not like another version of Orochimaru. And, I'm just going to keep reading and I'm going to keep watching the anime too because I like to compare both to each other. It's, like, again, not bad, but the only problem is it just feels very beat for beat like the original series. I would like to see Boruto develop his own like power set. I know he got that curse mark, but I'd like to see him develop his own power set. He doesn't have like the nine tail power or any other of the demons. He's pretty much like everybody else. He has to develop his own ninjutsu. So tell me what you think. Do you like Boruto? Do you prefer Naruto over Boruto? Do you think this is going to get better? Do you think this is unnecessary? Let me know down in the comment section below. And don't forget to hit the like button, share, and subscribe. And ring that notification bell so you can get notified anytime I have a new video up. I will see you on the next video. Bye.